Well, Diepsloot residents say they are fed up with a lack of policing in the township in northern Johannesburg. Protesters have set shops and homes alight, saying they're being used as hiding places by criminals. Now, they further complain that they have approached local police. However, nothing has been done so far. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is following the story for us, joining us once again to give us an update on what is happening on the ground. Manqoba, good to have you back, colleague. What can you tell us from where you stand?
Well, Tumela, the situation has relatively calmed down here this morning. Of course, the community members have, decided to suspend the protest here in the area. And this is because the delegation of leaders from this community is going to be heading to the union buildings, where they are going to be engaging with the authorities and officials there as far as some of the issues are concerned. You recall, of course, that they want President Cyril Ramaphosa to come and address them in this community due to the fact that they say that a number of interactions and engagements have been held previously with police as well as the police minister in this community, and they feel that nothing has really come out of those engagements. The crime still continues here in this area, and of course they are quite concerned about the high levels of crime here. That delegation, Tumelo, is about to leave here to head to the union buildings. But just to get an update as far as the protest and what to expect, I'm joined by one of the community leaders, Loiso Toia. Loiso, thank you for your time. Let's start here. What's going to happen now? We know that you're heading to the union buildings. Why?
We're heading to the union buildings now because we've decided to suspend the protest and the march to formally engage with the office of the presidency to invite him formally to come to Diepsloot, because others have been saying that we are protesting hooligans and what. Now we want to show people that we can think, and also we can do things formally. We don't want the office to say we're only hearing on TV that we are wanted in Diepsloot. We want it now to do it formally. Now we'll be heading to Union Building. Of course, I'm sure they've heard on TV that we are coming, and even though there is no it's not formal, we've not informed them formally that we're coming. Indeed, we were heading there now to formally invite our president to come and engage us in the issues relating to crime in our community.
So are you still expecting the president to come here?
Yes, we are. We are still expecting the president. The president is the president of the people. He is the president because of us. So when we're facing challenges and problems, we must cry to him. We must engage him in any means necessary. So we are still expecting him to come, not only him alone, together with other ministries that include the Minister of Home Affairs, Justice, the Minister of Police, and also the Ministry of Home Affairs. I've said that. So the reason we want all these ministries in one meeting, it is because our problems in Diepsloot are not only problems of crime. The problem that are making crime in our community is not only based on crime. It has to do with how Diepsloot is structured. It has to do with justice system. I've made an example earlier that other people are arrested, illegal immigrant or foreigners were arrested. They were released out of bail. So these are the questions that we want to ask. The issue of, if you can look at Extension 1, there are areas where you cannot access, the police vans cannot access. So if we have the Ministry of Informal Settlement, they are able to respond to that. When and how are you planning to formalize our area so that we can have an area that is accessible?
Let's talk about, of course, the engagements that you've had. You've, been with the police minister. Are you willing to give it a chance again to hear, or do you feel that, you have exhausted, your efforts as far as that is concerned? So what are your thoughts as a community just going forward?
No, we are willing to give the Minister of Police also a chance, because we believe that indeed when he was there, he played his role. He made promises and he fulfilled those promises of deploying a TRT team. But the problem with the promises of the Minister of Police are temporary. He will deploy TRT for a moment of 6 months. And after that, those police will be withdrawn. So that is a problem. We want a permanent solution. He must be part of those meetings that we'll have with the president so that he can deploy police that will be here permanently. So we believe that a person that can be able to enforce that, to make sure that the police that will be deployed here, the solution that will come through the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Informal Settlement, it is the president.
Okay. Just finally, what's going to happen with the protests? You said just now that you have suspended the march so far. Is it going to continue, or are you going to give that engagement that you're having at the union buildings a chance?
We are going to give the engagement a chance as we are heading there now. It will depend the kind of joy that we'll receive there and the kind of reception that we'll receive there. Of course, if we are receiving positive news, we'll come back to our community and give them this positive news that say, no, the president will come on this date, or the president is planning to come on this date. And also, besides us going to union building, we are mourning a death of our leader, which is John Manqoba, the former chairperson of CPF. So we have dedicated these 2 days to engage with the union building and also mourn the death of our leader, John Manqoba. So we are in that process of these 2 days. But if we are not getting joy from the response that we'll get from union building, we'll have no choice but to go back to the street.
Just finally, I'm just reminded of this question because just driving around myself, I haven't seen any of the safety wardens, the Gauteng safety wardens that were deployed by the premier here in the area. I've not spotted one in this area. Are they here, and do you feel that you need them here as a community?
Same with us, Manqoba. We have not seen none of them, the warden. We heard that they are here, but we have not seen them. Of course, we need them as part of the strategy of government to combat crime. We need them to come and for we have seen them in other areas, Tembisa, Orange Farm, working there. So we believe if they can also be part of the deployment in Diepsloot, they can also assist in combating crime. We must also give credit to the Premier in his part that is playing in trying to combat crime in the province. Of course, we believe when the president is coming here in our community, he should be part of those meetings so that his solution together with the president's solution can become one, and then we can have a permanent solution in our community.
Okay, thank you very much, Lois Otoia. One of the community leaders, of course, they're heading to the union buildings, as he says, to try and engage the office of the president to come to address some of the issues here in Diepsloot. And as he says, they're going to give this process a chance and see how those engagements are going to unfold, whether there will be any, commitments as far as the president coming here or not. But this is a community saying that they're willing to sit down, they're willing to engage further, even saying that the police minister, they're willing to still engage him as far as the issues are concerned. But the crime here is out of control and they want it dealt with and they want action now.
Yeah, those concerns quite sound, Manqoba. Also, hearing they're still mourning the passing of the CPF chair, John Manqoba, and we know he was at the forefront of fighting crime out in Diepsloot. So such a sad loss for the community, but definitely taking on that baton, moving forward and approaching the presidency to see how he can intervene in terms of those resolutions in ending crime out in Diepsloot. Colleague will come back to you as soon as there are any other developments in the community. But thanks for this update. That's eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu.